Welcome to this month's edition of Aces All-In. I'm Nikki Pica, he's Zach Larson, and it's our last episode of Aces All-In as the boys of summer finish another exciting season in Reno.
That's right, Nikki. Another season of playoff baseball for the Aces. We'll have a recap of their playoff run and the whole season coming up.
Plus, we catch up with a player that led the Aces in all major statistical categories this season. Find out who we named the MVP of Reno's ball club later in the show.
We'll also sit down with the president of the Reno Aces, Eric Edelstein, to debrief on this year's team.
But first, let's recap how the Aces got into the playoffs. Heading into the final week of the season, Reno came in with a 3-game lead over Las Vegas for the best record in the second half. Clinching didn't take long for Reno on September 18th. With a win and a Las Vegas loss, the Aces clinching a spot in the PCL Championship Series for the first time since 2022. A 44 and 30 second half record propelling Reno into a best-of-3 series against first half winner Sugar Land. The series beginning September 24th in Sugar Land. Zach has a recap of Game 1.
Reno back in the playoffs after nearly missing out a season ago. On the bump, Tommy Henry. He's been an ace for the Aces, but it didn't get off to a good start for him in this game. The Space Cowboys jumping all over the southpaw, scoring 3 runs in the second and 3 more in the third for a 6-0 lead in the third inning. Henry would get pulled, but the runs continued to pour in for Sugar Land. The bullpen allowing 8 runs and 5 in the third innings. Catcher Adrian Del Castillo had his moment in this game, a 2-run homer in the top of the 6th inning, but it was too little, too late. The Aces falling to the Space Cowboys 14-2, pushing them to an elimination game the next day.
Game 2 was a much closer affair for Reno. Sugar Land got on the board quickly. In the first inning, Pedro Leon smashed a 2-run shot off starter Humberto Castellanos. Space Cowboys were not done either. In the third frame, back-to-back jacks from Trey Cabbage and Cooper Hummel, giving Sugar Land the 4-0 lead early on. Now Del Castillo again showing off his power with a solo shot in Game 2. But it just wasn't enough to overcome the early deficit, the Aces falling to the Space Cowboys 5-2 in Game 2, ending their season.
Sugar Land went on to play in the AAA National Championship, where they beat the Omaha Storm Chasers to become champions of AAA baseball. Congrats to the Space Cowboys.
Coming up next, we recap the Aces' remarkable season as we take you through the defining moments of the year.
Welcome back to Aces All-In. Alongside Nikki Pica, I'm Zach Larson. For the Aces, this season really was a tale of 2 halves.
I mean, you can say that again. Reno finishing 4th in the PCL with an overall record of 79-70.
But in the first half, Reno's ball club went just 35-40, scoring 30 less runs than they allowed. It was a surprise start after coming off a 2023 season that broke a franchise record with 88 wins on the year. But once the second half came around, that's when the Aces really started to figure it out.
The bats coming around in the pitching, limiting opposing teams to just 4.78 runs per game, the second lowest allowed in all of the PCL.
Offensively, the Aces smacking 198 home runs throughout the season. Leading the way was Kyler Garlick with 28 of his own home runs and ADC with 26 home runs leading the charge. Garlick also batted in 105 runs to boost the Aces, helping clinch a playoff spot. Speaking of Garlick, we caught up with the veteran before the season ended.
RBIs is a testament to the guys hitting in front of me. I wouldn't have been able to do that without Albert and Dell and Chaparro and all these guys getting on base in front of me, paving. So that's been awesome. And then the home runs is one of those things where I felt like I always knew that I could have good power numbers, and being able to stay healthy all year and just have consistent at-bats. I think that's just kind of showing the power numbers there.
What an incredible season from Kyle Garlick. Now, during the second half, the Aces also had a win streak to remember, and that was one that we remember as well, a franchise record 12-game win streak that includes 3 back-to-back-to-back walk-offs, all starting on the 4th of July.
Myrick comes home, Chaparro back up the middle, a base hit! It's a walk-off win! 0-1. Andres to left and through. It's a base hit. Albert around third. Auerbach, the throw is not in time. 10 in a row. Are you kidding me? In the dirt, bounces away. Here comes Brixey. We're not done. 11 in a row.
What an amazing win streak that was for the Aces. And during the season, we saw a lot of movement happening to the roster, including a rehab assignment from Jordan Montgomery, who came to Greater Nevada Field throwing 4 innings, allowing just 2 runs in front of the Aces fans. Another D-back arm to make an appearance was a member of the World Series team last year, Paul Sewald. The closer pitched in 2/3 of an inning, striking out 2. Alec Thomas also spent some time in Reno, recovering from a lower body injury as well. We even had some major trades go on this season. Third baseman Andres Chaparro was sent to the Nationals, and Devion De Los Santos went to the Marlins. The two hit a combined 33 bombs while accounting for 122 RBIs during their time in the biggest little city this season.
Now getting the call up to the bigs included Adrian Del Castillo, who made his debut on August 7th and introduced himself to the D-backs fans in a big way with an RBI double. That was his very first at bat, and then a solo shot to walk it off against the Phillies just the next game.
Another ace making his major league debut was Yabir Diaz. In his debut on July 1st, Diaz threw 6 innings, allowing just 1 run against the Braves, scattering just 4 hits and 1 walk. During his 4 starts, he collected a 3.12 ERA with 26 innings pitched for Arizona.
The Aces offense exploded in many ways over the season, as you mentioned earlier, Zach. The Aces hit 198 home runs, scoring 871 RBIs, and had a team batting average of .286, the best in the Pacific Coast League.
In 1 inning, the Aces drove in 11 runs against the Las Vegas Aviators in the 2nd inning on July 25th, scoring 8 runs with 2 outs. Talk about a 2-out rally, Nikki. Ronaldo Hernandez with a grand slam shot to seal the deal for the Aces that inning.
So much happened this season, Zach, and what a historic season it was.
You're not wrong, and we got more coming up on Aces All-In. Nikki chats with NSN's pick for MVP next.
Welcome back to Aces All-In. I'm Nikki Pica, and joining us today is Nevada Sportsnet's most valuable player, Adrian Del Castillo. .318 batting average in Reno with 25 home runs, 72 RBIs. Kind of the list goes on here. Adrian, what do you attribute your success to this season?
I think just being confident up there and making sure I have a plan, trusting my coaches, and just mainly having fun out there and just enjoying the game, being as getting out here every day and trying to be the best player I can be.
I just want to touch on your time in Puerto Rico in the off season. What did that kind of mean to you, and how has that translated into this year? Yeah,
it meant a lot, and it's a different type of baseball. Going overseas and playing different people, different type of baseball too. A baseball you need to win every single game there. And I think it helped me a lot this year because the more at-bats, the better, for sure. So I think that just, translated to here, to spring training, and then ultimately to here. So,
was there something that you changed mechanically?
I changed maybe a little tweak, just opened up a little bit. In spring training, Danker was the one that told me about it, and it stuck, and then obviously it helped pretty immense, amount.
And I do want to bring up your lefty-lefty batting average. I mean, it's .340. You don't really see that coming from left-handed hitters. Did you really know that, or is that something that's kind of new to you, or?
Yeah, so I didn't really know that. I've never really had much trouble off lefties much, but maybe I have a different approach to lefties that I don't have righties, and just makes me put the ball in play more and something like that. But yeah, I can't explain why, but yeah.
Yeah. So August 7th was your major league debut. What emotions were you feeling, and what was kind of going through your head when you got that call?
I mean, it was awesome. It was everything I could dream of. Got the call from Blake, and I kind of knew already. And he finally said it, and I just right away called my parents, and super happy. Obviously, super excited.
That walk-off home run, I mean, it was your first career home run, walking it off against the Phillies. I mean, what kind of a moment was that for you?
Yeah, I'll be honest with you, I hit it and I blacked out. I barely remember anything, and emotions were going crazy. My parents, family were on the, watching the game from the seats, and it was awesome, just to be able to win the game like that, so yeah.
And then you went down to Miami, your hometown, and hit a grand slam with 6 RBIs.
Yeah.
I mean, how cool is that to be able to do that in your hometown in front of your friends and family? Could you have written it any better?
Yeah, I couldn't. There was over like 200 people that day, and to do that in front of them is awesome, and put up RBIs for our team to be at a better spot to win the game. So yeah, for sure, it was awesome.
And what's something that you learned about yourself this season?
Just being more confident. I think when I came up last year, it was just a little bit doubtful, and I think just going out there and knowing my game, being confident, and whatever happens, like mentality, it helped.
All right, that's Adrian Del Castillo, Nevada Sportsnet's most valuable player of the year. Adrian, thank you so much for joining us, and good luck the rest of the season.
Appreciate it.
Thank you. All right, we'll be right back with more on Aces All-In.
Hey there, y'all, and welcome back to Aces All-In. Mike Stephenson here, hanging out in our Nevada Sportsnet studio and welcoming a very special guest. He is the president of your Reno Aces, Eric Edelstein, as we wrap a bow on the 2024 season. Hard to believe, 15 years of ace ball in downtown Reno. Eric, how would you just summarize this season, if you could?
I mean, it was a fantastic season, start to finish. I mean, it feels like it lasts forever and all in a blink at the same time. But really, really terrific season on and off the field. Sort of wandering aimlessly now that the games are done. But it was a great year.
Yeah, you and your staff spend a ton of hours downtown at Greater Nevada Field, whether the team is in town or not. I tell you what, the year started out with a bang. Opening day, biggest crowd since 2016. And in terms of the fan experience and what you guys really focus on, you guys just kind of rode that momentum throughout the whole year.
It certainly felt that way, yes. I mean, we opened up with really 2 great days, 2 great day games, middle of the week. It was spring break. We had great weather to start the year. And that momentum really rode all the way into, through July. Hit a little bit of snag there when it was about 105 for a week. But other than that, I mean, it was just it was an exciting year where every homestand just brought something different. Exciting players, good baseball, great promotions. Some of the most fun we've had at the ballpark with Grateful Dead night and our Taylor Swift non-tribute tribute type of events. Scooby-Doo, Peanuts, Looney Tunes nights. It was just really, really a fun, maybe the most complete season of baseball on and off that I've ever seen here.
Wow, that says a lot coming from you and having been around this team for a lot of years. Obviously, you and your staff's main focus is kind of outside of what happens on the field, as of course the Diamondbacks control a lot of that. So we'll get to the actual play in a second. But yeah, you guys debuted a bunch of renovations this year, and you mentioned it. Every night is kind of different at the ballpark if you go to the game.
It really is. I mean, we reintroduced the Silver Sox this year with our Throwback Thursdays, which was especially for folks who've grown up and lived in Reno for a long time. A lot of great fun there. Opened the door for us to meet some of the former Silver Sox folks that maybe we didn't even know over the course of the year. So that was really exciting. Fireworks continue to be great. Our Saturday promotions, like I mentioned, the Looney Tunes and the Scooby-Doos and the Star Wars and the Grateful Dead were all big hits that hit different genres, introduced different folks to the ballpark that weren't there. We really focus on just continue to be a great community asset. And yes, we play baseball, and if you love baseball, it's even better. But even if you don't love baseball, just coming to the ballpark is a fun, clean, safe gathering experience where you get to be part of a community.
I want to say we buried the lead, though. We also introduced a 4-legged friend to the team, Bat Dog Lambo, on Sundays.
We did. Our first ever Bat Dog. One of the funniest nights or funniest moments of the year was on the last dog day. The leadoff hitter, I think it was Barossa, led off with a base hit, and there was like a nice little kind of golf clap for his base hit, and then Lambo came to get the bat, and there was an absolute roar in the crowd that the bat dog got the bat. So Lambo might have stolen the show and been the biggest star all year.
Yeah, dogs, bruh. Man's best friend. Let's talk about the product on the field. So last year, a franchise record in wins, but the way that whole first half, second half works out, ended up missing the playoffs. But how about the second half specifically this year? The team rattles off a franchise record, 12 wins in a row, rallies itself into the postseason. Blake Lawley had him humming, especially in that second half.
Absolutely, and it shows what kind of squad we maybe should have had all year long. Yeah. There was a point in the early part of the season where the Diamondbacks had 9 major league players on their IL. That meant our 9 best players were all up in the big leagues. And so obviously no organization can plan for that or have the depth for that. And that certainly affected us. As players got healthy in the big leagues, that certainly led us to be a much better team in the second half. And super exciting squad all the way through, even as there were departures and changes that just seemed like the next person up always contributed.
Let's look ahead to next year because, again, momentum around the park, around the team, and more to come. I guess, what are your priorities, and what does the offseason look like for you and your staff?
Man, there's not much of an offseason. I mean, we turned the page right away into getting ready for next year. And the more that we can get prepared, we're building our promotional schedule right now. Our season memberships are on sale and have been for 2.5 months now. Group events, booking, picnic areas and suites and all that, that's all happening right now as well. So there's really no rest for the weary. We jump right into capital projects as well. So we've done some major renovations. We don't have any major projects on the horizon, but we are still looking at changing some of our seating areas that maybe have gotten a little bit tired, updating some of our picnic spaces. We want to keep that venue, Greater Nevada Field needs to continue to be the shining crown jewel of gathering in Northern Nevada.
Excited to see what comes. So coming up next year on Aces All In, we have our top moments of the 2024 season. You got a top moment, top of mind?
I think it's got to be Chaparro's back-to-back walk-offs.
Yeah, that was crazy.
Mean, giant crowds, July 4 and 5, like nothing more electric than a walk-off home run on a sold-out night, and he did it back-to-back nights. That was wild.
Yeah, that's, again, worth the price of admission itself. He is Eric Edelstein, president of the biggest little cities ball club, the Reno Aces. We're back right after this on Aces All In.
Welcome back to Aces All In, and it is the last segment of the year, sadly. So we're just going to count down the best highlights from the season. Zach, let's see that top 10 list.
At number 10, the D-backs' #1 prospect, Jordan Lawler, making his season debut on June 11th. Lawler, coming off a thumb injury suffered during spring training, making a mark in his debut, finishing a triple shy of the cycle. The 22-year-old tallied 3 hits and 3 RBIs, including a home run in the 5th inning versus the River Cats. Reno added a new furry friend this offseason. At number 9, Lambo the Bat Dog, making her debut for the Aces on April 7th. The chocolate Labrador Retriever picking up the bats for her hometown Aces every Sunday at Greater Nevada Field. She worked with Finn the Bat Dog in Las Vegas before moving full-time to Reno this year. It's difficult to have a perfect day as a hitter, but third baseman Andres Chaparro did that on July 2nd against the River Cats. 8th on our list is Chaparro going 5 for 5 at the plate. He knocked in 3 runs on 2 doubles and 3 singles. Number 7 is perhaps the most heartwarming moment of the year. The Aces partnering with Donor Network West as part of the Home Run for Life promotion. Earlier this year, Reno's ball club honoring Aaliyah Hartung, the longtime girlfriend of manager Blake Lawley. Hartung, in need of a kidney transplant, received news that Lawley was a perfect match for a kidney donation, and in the offseason, Lawley donating his kidney to Hartung. The couple ran the bases in a game this season as part of the Home Run for Life promotion. To catch the full story on Blake and Lawley, visit nevadasportsnet.com. On June 30th, first baseman Davison De Los Santos contributed in a huge way. Coming in at number 6 is De Los Santos' 8 RBI game against Oklahoma City. His performance included 2 home runs on 3 hits. He scored all 8 runs for the Aces in an 8-2 victory over OKC. Reno and Vegas have always had a long-standing rivalry, and on this day, the Aces stuck it to the team down south. At number 5 is Reno's 21-run rout of the Aviators on August 25th. In that game, the Aces hitting 2 grand slams in the 5th inning, one by Ronaldo Hernandez and the other by Bryson Brigman in the 5th inning. There were some great pitching performances this season, but none better than Yober Diaz's on July 1st. Coming in at number 4 is Diaz's 13 strikeout game versus the River Cats. Diaz tying a franchise record for strikeouts in a game, but Reno almost threw its first ever no-hitter as well, but the River Cats were able to break it up with a 1-out single in the 9th inning. Diaz and the bullpen combined to allow just 1 hit and 2 walks while striking out 17 batters in the 7-0 victory. And what's better than clinching a spot in the postseason? Coming in at number 3 on our list is the Aces earning a spot in the Pacific Coast League playoffs on September 18th. A remarkable second-half surge, propelling Reno to become second-half champs and a spot in the postseason. At number 2, the Aces setting a franchise record when it won 12 games in a row. June 26th to July 9th, Reno went on a historic run, smashing the previous franchise record 9-game winning streak. And coming in at number 1 during this historic win streak, the Aces walking it off not once, not twice, but how about 3 times in a row. It all started on July 4th, when Chaparro's base hit walked it off for an 8-7 win on America's birthday. The next day, he did it again with another base hit to win it 4-3. Finally, on Saturday, July 6th, a wild pitch scoring the winning run in a 7-6 victory in 10 innings. Quite the year for the Reno Aces, Nikki. We're glad you were with us all season long to witness the twists and turns of a minor league baseball season.
Reno heads into the offseason for now, but don't you worry, they'll be back in the biggest little city soon.
First game of 2025 will be in Las Vegas starting March 28th when the Aces square off against their rival, the Aviators.
The first home series starts April 1st when the Tacoma Rainiers come into town.
And don't forget, for all the latest Aces news and notes, tune into NSN Tonight every night at 6, 8, and 10, plus visit our website at nevadasportsnet.com. For Aces All In, I'm Zach Larson, she's Nikki Pica. We'll see you next time.